There are calls for Joe Biden to pull out of the presidential race after his performance in the first debate against Donald Trump.
My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic.
The pair are the oldest candidates for presidents in US history, with Biden 81 and Trump 78. Biden had a shaky beginning to the debate. The ha-ha's not there, by the way, podcast listeners. When the TV audience would have been at its highest.
Every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Yep.
This was Jon Stewart for those listening.
Need to call a real estate agent in New Zealand.
Hey. Despite improving as the debate continued, it may not be enough to quell concerns about his being Biden's sharpness.
I think there was a sense of shock, actually, how he came out at the beginning of this debate, how his voice sounded. He seemed a little disoriented. He did get stronger as the debate went on, but by that time, I think the panic had set in.
But there was at least one early indication that President Biden will remain on top of the Democratic Party ticket. I'm going to pause here. This footage here, they're not going to delve into it, but this footage was after the debate finished, and it appeared that Jill Biden was helping Joe Biden down off the stage. If that had been broadcast as well, that would have been even worse still. I don't know if they're going to show it all here, but yeah, there was some footage after it, making it look like he was struggling to get down the stairs.
Talking to sources close to President Biden, people have known him for a long time. There is zero chance, they tell me tonight, he steps away from running.
Now, Chewy, I don't know if you remember, but a person sitting in a set remarkably similar to this, looking remarkably similar than this, said 12 months ago, if Biden runs, Trump wins. Now, over the last few months, I've thought about me saying that, and I've kind of gone, maybe I was wrong. But when you have, these are my thoughts, yeah? When you have, as the media is saying, the con man versus the old man debate, and the con man told so many lies, like I should have queued up his first question, because the first question he goes, the best ever economy there's ever been, and all this kind of stuff. And he made about 5 statements. And I was sitting in my chair watching it and went, lie, 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 lie. Every single one of them was bullshit, right? And when you've got someone who lies as much as that, who won't answer questions, who makes more about his golf handicap than any policy, come out looking better than the incumbent president, you know you've got a problem. Chewy.
I have so many thoughts. Look, a lot of people in the chat dragged me into Discord live during that absolute abortion of a debate. The narrative post-debate has been almost 100% about Biden's capabilities.
Yeah, of course.
About his cognitive decline, how old he seems or is, that sort of thing. And almost no one seems to be talking about every single thing that Trump spoke about was a lie.
Yeah.
Or outright misinformation, half-truths, exaggeration. He never answered a question. He would go off on some fucking tangent about this mystery world that if he was still the president, the war in Ukraine wouldn't have happened. All of this nonsense. Like, at this stage, if I was an American and able to vote over there, I would vote for a literal bag of potting mix on the Democratic ticket. Like, and unfortunately, that's pretty close to what they've got. What they're voting for is not so much singular Biden. They are voting for his administration.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's so outpaced that this man-on-man debate is so focused on, like, the way that they structured this debate. Like, I can understand why they did it. They went into it saying, we are going to kill the other person's mic until it is your turn. The unintended consequence of that is it just let Trump gish gallop.
Yeah.
Now, you spoke about gish galloping last week. Of just like, okay, cool, Mr. President Trump, here's a question. Mistruth, lie, unrelated anecdote. There was no pushback. There was no interruptions. There was no dragging him back to his point. There was no fact checking, because you couldn't fact check that fire hose of bullshit that was every time he spoke.
Well, but also the moderator. That's not the moderator's job. In that setting, the moderator's job is not to critique, because what would have happened then, or to correct, and this may be a criticism of the format, is then they would have been continually correcting Trump, and the world would have seen it as Biden and CNN against Trump. So they were kind of stuck, and they sort of couldn't do that. The other thing that I'm just thinking of now that really harmed Biden with not having the interruptions was he was then left to fill the full 2 minutes. If Trump had been chipping at him and kind of butting in sort of thing, he probably would have looked more capable, because it would have been this guy interrupting him. But it was almost like he was put off his game as much by someone interrupting him when there was no one interrupting him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just find the narrative really interesting that the stories are all focused on Biden and
of course,
none on Trump, when it should be, holy shit, we have a country of 500 million people, and these are the two that we have picked.